That's exactly what was being said.
19th, we're going to start with the Ashatpadi number 21.
The people just do not understand. If the Christianity, the last message was, thy will be done, have they understood what the will is? From their implementation of that message of close to 2,500 years, it doesn't look like it. And Gurbani says it is pretty much the story of the human. They really only talk about it and they don't understand. And the fact that they don't understand is absolutely apparent and visible in real life. Because what are they doing? Manhat karma kamam de nitnit hoye khuar. Whatever action they are taken out of their stubbornness of their own mind, rigidity of their own mind. It's not this, it is that. Benazir Bhutto left the shelter of European living with one belief, that you can talk of infidels versus the believers. That may be okay. But Quran is absolutely explicit in forbidding harming a woman. Categorically. You cannot kill a woman. That's a direct way to hell.
You can hurt, but you cannot kill.
Here comes the politician.
No, seriously. Seriously. You can insult, you can hurt, but you can't kill. You can abuse. Yeah. You can abuse.
Wouldn't that be a matter of perspective? What you are calling abuse, the other may be thinking of teaching you the manners.
The right.
Teaching you the right way.
No,
Making you behave properly.
No.
Under whose
He's right.
Right?
authority?
No, that's not the point. I am only talking of the perspectives. Two ways of looking at the same thing.
He's not agreeing with them.
I am not saying that what they're doing is right or wrong. As a metaphysicist, you cannot ever get stuck on a belief system and not allow the other belief system to exist. Allowing the existence does not mean condoning and agreeing and following. It only means, yeah, that exists. So if you were to talk to the man on the other side who, according to you, can insult or put down or hurt, etc., whatever titles you are using, if you are to ask that man, why are you doing this? What do you think the response would be?
Because that's right.
I wanted this to do this, and she is not following the instructions. Now, whether he has the right to follow further, I'll leave it out. But the point I'm making here is, that's exactly what Gurbani is saying, manhat. Based on your own mind and its stubbornness. The opposite statement is just as stubbornness as the other one was. Right? That reaction is also manhat. This action is also manhat. And Gurbani is saying, If you had understood the will and listened to the master and listened to the guru and listened to and looked at the creative energy, you would never have come to this stage. And the example I brought to you, that in Quran, actually not at one place but at many places you are forbidden to kill the innocent. And women, because they are never in the war, even in those days, were explicitly said, you are not to hurt. Yeah, it went further and said, actually that is your reward when you win. Is this spoils of the war. You can divide that amongst yourself. But Benazir, before leaving Saudi Arabia, sent that message to the planners, because they already got the intelligence that the attack is going to be, and he sent the signal. Harming a woman is not a way to the heaven, it is a way to the hell. But guess what? 4 attempts in the same night took place. With the bombers, with the bullets, with the grenades, with everything. And more than 136 people died last night. Now, somebody sanctioned it, and somebody opened the book and said, hey, look, when you look at it this way, it is still guaranteed that you are doing the right thing. Don't worry about it. She may be a woman, but she's a politician. And she is actually in a cahoot with the devil. Who's the devil in their mind today? Musharraf. Why is he a devil? Because he's in partnership with America. So what has happened? In the name of religion, complete innocent blood. Those who have nothing to do with it. And that goes on. And the Gurbani says, who are these people? That they are the one who are literally the lost souls. To what Jesus said, the lost sheep. They are hiding behind these lofty words, but they are lost. How do you come back from there? Is it possible? They say, yes, of course it is possible. And that's where the next Ashatpadi starts. It says, Gurmukh naam te aaye manmek booj na paaye. If you want to come back, you have to take the first step in that direction, which is Gurmukh naam te aaye. Unless you get into the path of the meditation, which would force you look inward. Why don't we want to look inward? What is inward? Just our own memories, just our own beliefs, just our own thoughts, isn't it? I mean, in my own inside, what is it? It may be belief about you, right? But it still is my belief. So when I look inside, there's nothing I can find that belongs to you. So why don't I want to look inside? It's all mine. There's a reason for it. Think about it. I really don't like myself too much.
I was just about to say.
I really don't like myself too much. Because those thoughts and those belief systems, when looked at in their pure nakedness, are horrible. Their selfishness becomes so glaringly obvious to me, hence the Gupat. That which is a Gupat today, if I start looking inside, it becomes Chitta right away. Now, what is the demand of every human? Love me. Do we ever sit down and ask question, if I don't love myself? Are you ready to live with yourself for just maybe 5 minutes? Just with yourself. Mark my word, just with yourself.
It's very hard.
No radio, no television, no music, no newspaper, no book, no work.
No thoughts.
Just nothing. No, think about yourself. Just sit down. Think about yourself.
It can be.
And you would. That's the key, though. Think about yourself, not about the other. You would not stand. You would want to suddenly run away. And if nothing else, turn on the television or pick up a book or call somebody and go out. And I was talking to one of my near and dear and said, "Well, why you don't stay home? What's the problem? What do you do outside for hours and hours?" "Oh, just walk around." "Why?" "Oh, just see the world." "What is the same world every day?" "No, got back to it. This is what I do here. Just walk around outside. Not many exercise you've done. What an escapism. Avoiding the self. The only way you can get rid of all of that is to face that. That's why spirituality requires lots and lots of courage. It's not for the meek, it's not for the weak, it's not for the escapist. It's for very strong personalities who can look at it and tell oneself, yeah, that's who I am. And when you start looking at it, say, well, do I want to stay that way forever? No, I need to change that because I don't like that image of myself, within myself.
When you think of yourself in relation to you, it may lead you to other things. Some other things, let's say work or my going someplace or meeting somebody, but still, if I'm thinking that way, is that not thinking of myself?
No, the mind has gone out because it has now created the other. That's what I'm saying. No, the other has to disappear from that thought process. You have to think about self. Say, for example, let's say that you are thinking of Raj. She's the near and dearest, and then you can't get rid of the memory of her. The moment you think what she did, you have stopped thinking about yourself. But if you think what my reaction was and why, could I not have reacted differently?
Yeah, then it is my thinking of myself.
That thinking of yourself.
You can do that for 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Try it. Try it.
I'm wondering.
Very good.
Try it. Mind is very clever. It will shift. You'll be surprised how quickly it takes the focus from the self and puts on the other right way. Thinking of the other is so comfortable and easier. Whether you're thinking of the other as a good way or bad way, it doesn't matter. Thinking of the other is far more acceptable to the inner than analyzing the self, actions as well as reactions, as well as the motivation behind it.
So you could be thinking in terms of your work also. how you could do this, how could you do that, then
That's not thinking about yourself.
But in this example that you just gave,
It's just
No.
watching your thoughts. Just watch your thoughts.
I'm just asking you to watch your own inner self.
That's it.
yeah, but
The work is outside of you. It's not you.
yeah,
You
but
are not the work.
in this previous example, you said how you could have reacted differently or said something differently or done something differently in terms to a relationship. Wouldn't that be the same as work? Or anything else?
The focus is on the self-analysis. I'm asking you, how do you start turning inward? The first step to start turning inward, because the line is saying, Gurmukh naam dhyaye manmukh booj na paye. And I'm saying, listen to the Guru and stop the manmukh, start your mind running around your own thoughts and turn inward. So long as you are letting the mind do this journey, then you will never solve this puzzle. See? Bujharat, the riddle. You cannot solve this riddle by engaging your own mind. Because you go in a circular thinking then. That's what is going on right now. This circular thinking. I'm talking you detach from all of that. Just as you take a torchlight and just turn the switch on and put the light on. Put the light on the self. And stay with your own self.
Yes, in the past I have tried that, but then I start passing judgment on me and criticizing and thinking how I could be better, etc., etc. So thought, not just inward looking, it requires all that work to concentrate on me.
I didn't say start passing judgment and start condemning yourself. I said just stay with it. Stay with it.
That's the,
And start looking at it. Don't pass any judgment. Don't put any labels on it. Start recognizing. Remember my first words. I'm going to repeat myself now. Sit down and look at yourself the way you are. And Gurbani's line will become very clear to you as to why it said, Nanga dozakh chaleya ta disse khara daravana. It says that, can you live like this? Because this is something going to happen to all of us. Which is, when we start moving in that direction, all of the covers are going to drop. Right? The physical body is going to drop, and all the emotional and the intellectual and all these things are going to drop. And only the sanskar, that is a recorded memory, that's going to travel. And we'll be able to see that in its nakedness. Our observer, center observer, will be able to see that memory. Okay? Nanga, ripped off. Dozak, dozak literally means hell. Nanga dozak chaleya. Moving toward it, what will happen? Ta disse khara. You will see that in its purity, khara. There is no milavat, there is no mixture in it. But how does it look? You say, Dharavana.
scary.
It's going to be scary to your own self. What do you mean? I don't like that. Yeah, it is you. Look around you. There's nobody else. It is you. And what I was suggesting, rather than waiting to face that scene on that moment, practice it now here. Look at you. and you will discover that scary part within himself. Which is what is the reason why sitting alone. What is the biggest punishment to a human?
Sitting
Sitting
alone.
alone.
And not able to talk to anybody.
Solitary confinement, is it not?
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct.
Why? They give you the food on time. Right? You have all the means. Your bathroom is there, everything is there. Okay, you sit in this. But you have no means to engage with anything. You know, a saint would absolutely jump at joy.
Meditation. Perfect meditation.
But to a non-saint,
Crazy.
it is a punishment of worst kind. Those who are considered very healthy, they go mad. Just being alone with their own thoughts. So rather than waiting for that moment, you can start practicing looking at it, because somewhere along the line this has to be faced.
You mean we are going to go into solitary confinement? So you are preparing us for it?
It would be quite similar to that. What is that moment? Is it not?
We have a choice.
कुंजे लहद में जब के सोना होगा. Kunje means corner, lahad means cover. Right? Grave. A corner of a grave. Kunje lahad में जब के सोना होगा. जिस खाक न खाट न तकिया न बिछोना होगा. Right? There will be no bed there. तन्हाई में आह कौन आवेगा अनीस. हम होंगे और कबर का कोना होगा. In that aloneness, who will be there? Just you. So why don't you practice it now? Because you might be saved from that. If you start that process now, you might be saved as, oh my God, I wasted this time. I could have done something about it. Why didn't I think of this? Why didn't I do it? All of the mystics are telling you that. And that's what Gurbani is saying. Gurmukh naam te aaye. Start on the path. Guru is saying that to you.
Saved from it?
Huh?
How are you going to be saved? Everybody's going to die.
No.
No. When we say
Where did you go? Come back.
yeah,
You're wandering around. Saved not from death. Saved from that destiny. That torture of looking at that moment, say, oh, what a dark face. What a kind of memories I have collected. I could have done something about these memories. I could have done something about these karmas while I was in that body. And now I don't have the body. That repentance, rather than doing then, start doing meditation now so that you don't have to repent then. So that you can be saved from it. गुरमुख नाम ते आइए मानमुख बूझ ना पाए गुरमुख सदामुख उजले हर वसया माने आए. Those who are doing it, those who listen to it, what will happen? Sada mukh ujale. See, that darkness of the memory that has been collected would be washed away, and there will be brightness. Have you ever seen that the paintings of all of the evolved souls have a white aura around it?
Hello, Vito. Hello.
That's what does that mean? It is a symbolic indication that all their inner darkness has been washed out. They started living the life in the physical form the way His will meant to be. And now because we don't want to do it, we will say, well, come on. If everybody lives like a Buddha, then the world will come to an end. And I don't want the world to stop. Right? I have certainly taken the responsibility of the whole world on my shoulders.
Savior.
When you want to justify something, जिंदगी जैसे भी कटी जी मैंने, मेरी किस्मत में लिखा था सो पी मैंने. अगर ना पीता तो तेरा लिखा गलत होता.
Beautiful. This is very.
अब तेरे लिखे को निभाया ये खता की मैंने.
Beautiful.
See the logic? He says, if it was, to translate it for you, if it was not written in my destiny, I would never drink. I drank because you wrote it in my destiny. Now, I am only following your instructions. How am I to be blamed for it? I would be blamed actually the other way around. If I don't drink and you wrote it in my destiny, then I will be punished.
So good. But the way you say in that language, that's perfect. Translation, it loses its fun.
You walk across the border in Tijuana. The first shop where they sell the open beer, there is a huge poster, and it says there, one who drinks goes to sleep. One who goes to sleep commits no sin. One who commits no sin goes to heaven. So let's all drink and go to heaven.
He's in good form today. Better than usual. This is good.
Now who's creating these arguments? Mind. The Manamukh. And that's what Gurbani is guarding against here. They are going to look very attractive. You are going to think you are very smart. You just have found the logic of going against the will. Hey, if everybody becomes a Buddha all over the world, where would be this all scientific development if the entire people stop doing everything? So, let's not do anything. Just leave it alone. And Gurbani is saying, those who do not fall in that trap, it is those whose actual mind personifies the creative energy. Harvasya mane aaye. The creative energy actually starts manifesting there. Sahje hi sukh paiye, sahje rahe samaye. So, in the equipoise, state of equipoise is when, that's what is called sahaj. Without becoming stubborn or without punishing your body. And either way, you can get into that state. Bhai re dasan dasa hoy. How is that possible? Here is the secret. Bhai re dasan dasa hoy. Dasan means slave. So when you are starting, what would you do? He says you become slave of the slave. Isn't that amazing? How the word Gurbani actually brings you around and hits you like 2x4 in your forehead. Take the first step, but how? Dasan dasa. That's till today. The entire Sikh Jagat does not understand why Guru Nanak said, "Be my Sikh." We don't know how to be Sikh. We don't understand who is a Sikh. A Sikh cannot have an ego because he is still learning. Sikh, a Shishya, a student, a disciple, the one who is still learning. The one who is learning cannot have an ego because he doesn't know everything. There's still more to be known. You do not find more egotistical human faces than a Sikh. And they take pride in it in a very, very strange way.
You are a Sikh, you are quite humble.
Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. I'm talking about, Guru Angad became the true Sikh by Lena. He got acknowledged as a true Sikh, the first Sikh of Guru Nanak in that day. There were thousands around him. They couldn't understand the meaning. Why? Because everybody, whosoever was doing or following the instructions, also had this: I am following Guru Nanak. I am following his instruction. I am his disciple, not that disciple. I am now following a master rather than a pandit.
There comes ego.
Immediately start being a Sikh. Now, why I repeat this so many times? Because we can fall in the same trap, isn't it? We go to listen to just one saying, we are better than those who come over here. That can happen to us also.
I feel like saying, but I'm not going to say. But what if it is true? But I'm not saying it. I do feel like saying it.
So we are coming here, but I don't know. I'm not practicing a lot of stuff you tell us.
But that's the point I'm making. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, just
That
coming.
if in practice
Yeah.
it creates a separation, a division, then the primary objective has been lost. Because in the name of religion you cannot divide. If the division is taking place, it is something other than the religious spirituality, mysticism. It is for that reasons you will find that these thoughts will be thrown out from the mainstream, because the mainstream want to be different. They want to identify that, and on top of that they want to hold the master responsible for it. We are different because our Guru told us to be different. Which Guru? The one who wrote मानस की जात सब एक है पहचान वो. Manas ki jaat. Isn't that amazing? Human race. The one who wrote that with his own hand has been blamed to divide. And then we bring intellectual justifications and arguments and theses are written, and everybody goes around saying, it's I who have lost the way. I would rather be lost. I would not follow that way. No division in the name of religion. The people are sitting here in crowd when Santa Ana institution said, do this. I said, I'm not for dividing. I would rather step away. That's it, I'm done. You are not going to divide in my name. That's why there is no institution, because institution means division. We've been doing this kind of work more than 30 years now, right in this area. No institution, no organization, no division. Why? Because that is the sign of a manamukh, not the sign of a gurumukh. It's not the sign of the one who's listening to the guru. It's the sign of the one who's listening to his own mind. And it's the same message to you, that if you want to get on that path, bhai re dasana dasa hoye. You start practicing that. Gur ki seva, gur bhagat hai. Now, isn't that amazing? On Sunday, go tell this line to everybody who is saying, "Aji seva kar rahe hain, ji jutiyan chal rahe hain." One of the social problem over there. I mean, it's a serious problem. By the time I come out, all of the shoes have been rearranged.
Can't find it.
And you cannot find it, and you end up.
No, I couldn't find my shoes.
Yeah, we never can find it.
No, but they are doing it to
If you put them,
make it, if you put
Way
them in
back
the
there.
line
no, if
on
you
the
put
rack.
it up, then you won't lose it.
No, the point I'm making is that because
You have to find it.
No,
They-
we used to put it up. And
they
then
have
come and
their
do the-
own belief system
No, this is seva.
that this is seva.
That is right.
So they take their chunni or their scarf and they take the shoes down and they dust it off and then they put it somewhere. And that may not be the same place where, as they are arranging, so now your shoes turn may come and may end up in an upper or lower, sideways, anywhere.
And it's a large area, so
It's a large area.
easily get lost.
But in their mind, that's a sign of humility because they're touching others' shoes, number one. They're dusting it, that's another. And then they are arranging it properly, that's another. They think they're doing a great seva.
No, but it's not their fault. That's what they were taught from the childhood. All these sevas were part of the Gurdwara.
And I'm not saying it's their fault. I am saying listen to Gurbani. Here is the definition of seva directly written in the exact term, saying Gur ki seva gur bhagat hai. Bhakti is the real seva. No other seva in Sikhism, no other service is considered as a religious function. It's considered as social function.
Not even donation.
Not even donation.
I'm sorry, I lost you. What do you mean by not even donation?
Even donation is not a
You
seva.
want some?
Yeah, sorry.
Divanji, you how can giving donation is not seva? Because you are providing what is
It is only
required.
satisfaction of our own belief that we are doing it. It's not seva to the God.
Society
Yes.
service.
And how do you say you are providing?
When you give something,
You're not.
hold on. When you give something to an institution, right? That's what you are presenting as a thesis,
Right.
that institution needs the money
Correct.
to run,
Right.
and I give the money.
Right.
Why it is not a service?
Because I am giving without the credit.
No.
You
Fine,
see what I'm
fine.
saying?
We're doing
No, that's okay.
humanitarian.
I am not even going to argue that point that, okay, it's selfless,
Right.
it has no string attached, you don't even ask for the receipt so that you can claim the tax return.
Right.
I accept all of that.
Right.
How is that service to God?
Because a lot of people are helped by that act.
How is that service to God?
it takes
It's service to the people.
Social.
it takes you back to the same thing, like the cocoon he mentioned, right? Coming out of the cocoon, you think it's a service. He did a service to the cocoon, but so we think we
You yourself, I'm not going to deny anything here. This is your belief system. I'm asking you to go into that belief system yourself and ask yourself that this amount of money help feed these many more mouths. Is it a service to the God?
So many people are able to come there because of the donation of lots and lots of people.
I accepted that.
So they are understanding what Gurbani says,
I accepted that.
and you are giving chance to so many people to listen so they can get closer to God. It is service to God.
Is it service to God then? If the people get closer to God, is that service to God?
Isn't that what we keep on asking, that people...
Think about it. Think about it. If I am getting closer to God, when you do some service to somebody, should that somebody feel good about it or not?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Does God need that from us? Does he feel good that so many people are coming to me? Does he need it?
I don't know. I'm not God, so I can't tell.
Uh-huh. But why are you shaking your head that yeah?
You're shaking head.
I said, I don't know. Anyway.
What is it? Resident comedian now?
I mean, God has to love that so many of us are trying to connect with Him.
Who's making that law?
But who said?
Who's making that law? God has to love this. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I
God
interrupted.
is clear. Who said God lives within four walls anyway?
He doesn't.
He doesn't. Why? Who said you have to go to a church? Who said you have to provide money to a church or whatever you want to call that church to go see God? Where you can go out into nature, you can go and stand in the trees, you can go down by the water. You get the same feeling from nature as God.
No,
It's creation.
I'm sorry, I misled you here. I'm not saying going to Gurudwara is going closer to God. Going to Gurudwara to listen, to learn how to connect to God, to learn spirituality or what you may
Okay, so
whatever
yeah.
you may call it. So learning is required. So going to temple or church or Gurudwara or coming here, is all required. It is
Required by who?
You.
It's society.
By God?
Society.
No. No, by us only.
I know
This
there is
we
a
are here
trap.
by choice.
I know.
We're not here because
No,
of society.
don't try to avoid the trap because a wrong argument can never be justified. I'm only trying to make you go inward in your own thought and see them in their nakedness. The glorification of the act of giving and the stamp of spirituality on that has been enforced on us from the outside forces. And now we need to look at them as to for what they are. If God, the way we define it in the scriptures, is unattached, nirlep, how can he or she or it be affected by anything that we do or not do?
Okay, gotcha. Very clear.
If he is purely a prasad, then whatever I'm doing it for myself.
Right.
I'm doing it or helping the human body, meaning I am helping the society. It can be a social service. It can be a political act. I wouldn't deny that. But can it be a spiritual act? Answer is no. And that's where Divansa was taking us. That the way we have understood, that's the whole process of see these so-called belief systems, go back into them and say, by doing this, I have set up this expectation. Why? That's what the purpose of sitting alone. That's what the purpose of meditation. That's what the purpose of looking at yourself. You can bring each belief system out and you can jot down on a piece of paper. Someday somebody asked me, say, what is your authority when you answer these questions? I said, Guru Granth Sahib. He says, what if that's wrong? So then I'm wrong.
Then I'm wrong.
The knowledge that I am getting, I'm getting only from Shri Guru Granth Sahib. But not blindly. Then I bounce it off Christianity, I bounce it off Judaism, I bounce it off Islam, and Buddhism, Zennism, atheism, and I look at all of them. And till today, and I can be proven wrong by at the end of my life, I have always found all other arguments deficient somehow or other than the hypothesis and the thesis that's presented here. And I submit to you the same way. If you can come up with a better, refined, known things, come to me. And we can have a discourse, not an argument, not a declamation contest, but we can have a discourse. Come prepared. Because Gurbani is basically saying, Gur ki seva gur bhagata hai. Okay, now that's a declaration. You want to serve your God, you want to serve your Guru. Because Guru to a Sikh is not a body. And we went away from that. In that small patch of land, what is called Punjab, there are so many gurus now. That is mind-boggling. Every village has a guru. A sant, a yogi. And they all have their own institutions. And they all come here in the name of the religion.
So when they say in Granth Sahib Guru ki seva safal hai, je ko kare chit laye, that means we are still talking about bhakti.
Bhakti. Yeah. जेडी भक्ति है, सी गुरु की सेवा सफल है जे को करे चित लाए, मीन्स जेकर इन्नी देर करता रहे कि उसका चित लग जाए, फिर वो सफल हो गई, भक्ति सफल हो गई. Right? चित दे अंदर चली गई, that means the mind has now changed completely.
But it's the seva part of that.
It's the seva.
Bhakti, not that jutiyan and
Exactly,
and all that
exactly.
stuff.
Do not confuse that with the service of humanity. I annoyed a lot of people here. One day when I said, because everybody was talking of Mother Teresa.
No, Gandhi.
No, well,
Teresa
Gandhi
too,
also,
yeah.
of course, yeah, Gandhi also. But prior to that, there was discussion on Mother Teresa also. And I said, why don't you see what her real objective was? She did not stop anywhere around the globe and went all the way to India. to serve poor. Don't you understand why is that? Aren't there enough poor here, or anywhere in the Europe, or anywhere in India? Go deeper into it. She is a Christian missionary. The real objective is to convert, to make more Christians through
Seva.
seva.
I don't think so. I don't
Yes,
feel
that's-
that.
if you-
I don't really feel that. I think that's where her heart stops.
Your again,
Yeah, I know. I
I-
understand that.
take that feeling and put it to test.
But was she really converting? Was she always just helping the sick and the illiterate? And
Biggest problem.
It
They're
may
all
be-
converted.
It may be
No,
indirect.
no, no.
It may be.
The point I'm trying to make is a person who's interested in uplifting a poor
They've done anyway.
does not need to leave the homeland at all.
right.
No.
Does not even need to leave the neighborhood.
But they're all the churches, when they send the missionaries, they go to India and they go to the poorest part of India, and then they build this and build that, and they make them obligated to them so much that they're doing so
That's
much.
the easiest
So
place
don't you
to
see the
exploit.
process?
That's the easiest
Don't you
place
see the
to
process?
exploit.
That's the weak
No,
link
but
in the
Raj has a
But
question.
she's talking about Mother Teresa.
No, I'm
even
talking
the
about
Christianity,
the
even
missionaries who went to Afghanistan. The Korean missionaries who were caught. Why? A war-torn, hilly area which is so difficult to survive in. Why run to that part?
See, even in India, before they were not going to Punjab because
We are here to spread the word of Christ. No, you're not. The word of Christ, if you want, just publish some pamphlets and drop from the plane. People can read it. No, you are there to persuade the people, influence the people, and say, leave where you, what your belief system is, accept mine. Tell me what you need.
Sometimes, if not directly, then indirectly.
Indirectly.
So missionaries
System
get
is the
paid as a job. If it
Actually,
is-
adding
if you say-
numbers.
Yeah, if you say we are not going to pay you, I would really love to see how many missionaries go
No, this is,
and believe in still whatever their belief system.
they keep.
Oh, wrong.
no,
Wrong.
no.
Oh, it's not.
Most of the missionaries are not paid.
Their
They are
expenses are
not paid.
paid.
Their expenses only get paid if they
No,
can
but-
get somebody to sponsor them.
Srina,
Rest they put from their pocket.
yeah.
I think
Listen,
we are moving in around.
there is a record kept in the name of every missionary. How many people he or she added
Convert.
to
That's
the.
true.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
that
okay.
is.
All the
That's fine.
missionaries are like that.
That's
All of
fine.
them.
But
The institution maybe
Church pays them.
starts that.
No.
It has that
she
motivation.
had a
Check it out.
question.
No.
I would like to-
No, well, let her ask the question rather
I
than you
think
ask
it's
the
the
question.
expenses,
Well,
not pay. Not
Okay,
pay.
No,
today
they
there are a
don't
lot
pay.
of controversial questions. So
Let's-
go
let's
ahead.
come.
What is the question?
No, I think the motivation, the institution motivation may be that. Their thought process behind that is to convert it into Christianity. But I think they went to the poorest part because that's where they felt that was needed there. That is how I think about it. You know, I don't look at it that they had their selfish motive, because becoming a Christian or becoming a Hindu does not matter. What is there to spread Christianity or Hinduism or Sikhism? It makes any difference from my point of view. I'm not saying it.
And I'm not being disrespectful to your point of view. I'm asking you to analyze it. Analyze it. Somebody
The
who is
institution-
sleeping on the road and eating out of the trash cans. Is it necessary to go to Calcutta to find such a human?
They are in Chicago, plenty.
She might have just happened to be. They have not read about
was
it.
a
No. There is no reading required here.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay?
It was a call.
If you take your car right now and start driving around Los Angeles,
We have plenty of people.
and you see people hanging around on the backyard of a restaurant where they are throwing their trash. And these people, as soon as they dispose it, they are shoveling things out of there. And then they take that and go into their cardboard box on the road to spend the night, regardless of how cold it is, how hot it is, how rainy it is. Because the shelters are not enough to contain them. My question is, does an individual need to travel halfway around the world to look for a human like that because they need help? I'm not denying they need. I'm not denying that they did that. Because however bitter this truth is, the person who is leaning on the footpath here in Los Angeles may already be a Christian. But the people who's in Calcutta slum may be a Muslim or a Hindu or a Sikh, but is certainly not a Christian. So helping him has the possibility
Right.
of slowly saying, well, what have you done for me lately? Look at her. So
Motivation.
I follow you wherever you go
That's-
because you are the one who's helping me.
And it's not only Mother Teresa, even the missionaries these days, they're
It's
going
all
to
over.
the south, they're going to poor parts of India
Everywhere.
even now.
Everywhere.
And until lately, they were not going to Punjab because they were
Now
not
they are going to
poor.
Punjab also.
Now they're going to Punjab on a different
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Not because they need help, money and all that. Other things.
Now they're declaring it openly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
They are declaring openly now.
that we have not done missionary work here, but
That's right.
left it.
A lot of them are
So
going
now
to
they are
Yeah.
going.
They have that motivation is there. you're
Okay.
right.
So we come back to
Learn this.
the bhakti, the true seva, the true service that uplifts you closer to the creative energy is not what you think or you have been brought up with in a belief system. Gurbani says the only thing that uplifts your consciousness is that meditation. That's it. There is
But
no
then
exception.
even that's for you, right?
Huh?
You were saying before that God doesn't need it. So the meditation that uplifts us.
To me, not to him. He doesn't care.
It's also to us. Okay, just confirm.
Right, right.
All about us.
I can be a devil, I can be an animal, I can be whatever I want to be. He doesn't care. He has given me all the choices.
So there's no such thing as service to God.
They're all for the cleansing of yourself. That just in case
Get the
he
prashad.
decides to visit you, you are ready to receive him. Just in case.
He decides.
God decides. She decides. Actually, he means she.
His grace. His grace. His grace.
You are with her.
Yeah, because she includes he. SHE.
Yeah.
She includes he.
Yeah, better use she.
If this is the end result of 3-4 years of visiting here, please don't tell anybody that you come here.
Why? Why? That hurts somewhere or what?
No,
I mean, is there a question?
it is so ignoramus. Having repeated it that it is only a language barrier. We do not have a word that describes any letter, any word that you will choose to address that energy would be wrong.
Yes.
So all smart arguments that he and she, in she, he is included, is just saying that you have not taken the first step. If you are stuck on this, I am a woman, well,
That's it.
God help you because you are way, way off.
God is helping. He sent you.
And I'm doing so much damage here.
No. This was just for humor. Everybody knows that.
Sada sohag sohagani je challe Sadguru bhai. Now it's a metaphor. Sohagani means the one who's married, who has a man. Every soul on this planet, whether it is in the woman body or man body, is considered bride to him. He is the only groom. Actually, it happened to Mirabai. Mirabai was singing and dancing and suddenly came across a room which was surrounded by some folks, and they said, Mai, stop making noise. So why? In this room there is a brahmacharya doing bhakti. He said, what's a brahmacharya? Well, he hasn't seen a woman in his entire life. He has barred himself behind this, and he doesn't want to be disturbed by the voice of a woman. The story goes that he became so energetic that by pushing everybody around who were just broke the door open and went and stood in front of him. And when he opened the eyes of this whole noise, he said, well, I wanted to see, is there another man born on this earth? I thought only Krishna was the man.
Beautiful.
I want to see that man who is equal to Krishna. It's a metaphor. And the metaphor is a married woman. In the Eastern culture particularly, when she loses the man, and the chances of her losing the man are more than 80%. On the average, in the old age, a woman lives alone much longer without the man, because the man dies first. So that is, the word for that is vidva. She is no more sohagan. Sohagan is until the man is alive. So every woman goes through that. And what happens to that woman is that then she is forbidden to make herself look beautiful, make herself look desirable or attractive to any male, period, to any society member, period. Her dress is simple, all white, and she's not allowed to wear any makeups, etc. And some of the cultures even go even further than shave their heads off and make it as ugly as they can make her ugly. So Gurbani says, this is not just for the female. The reality is that every soul on this planet is without the husband. Why? Because they are not married to him. Why? Because they are not worthy of, they have not prepared themselves to be accepted by him as a bride. So if you prepare yourself as a bride, what will happen to you? Sada sohag sohagan. If you are accepted as a bride by him, then the possibility of you ever being a widow completely disappears, because he never dies. You will be a married woman for your entire existence. Sada sohag sohagani je challe Sadguru bhai. Provided you start on the path prescribed by the Guru. Sada per nahi chal paaye na ho mare na jaye. He, per means husband, pati. He is such who neither dies nor goes anywhere. Shabd mili na vichade pirke ank samay. If you follow the process, which is start the job of the Shabad and keep on the process, you will then never separate from him. Vichade, you will never be. And it's interesting that creative energy, you can only have a memory of it or a thought of it, isn't it? Right? I mean, it's not a physical thing. You can't. A poet says that beautifully. He says, Supne vich tusi mile asanu asa taakal vakadi pai. I met you in my dream. So what is the first instinct of a human when they meet the lover?
Embrace.
They want to embrace, isn't it? The arms go up. ਸੁਪਨੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਿਲੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਸਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਵਕੜੀ ਪਾਈ ਪਰ ਸੁਦੇ ਨੂਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੱਥ ਨਾ ਆਏ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੰਬਦੀ ਰਹੀ ਕਲਾਈ. You are just an energy, just a light. And what happened to me? The arms just kept shaking and nothing happened to them. I forgot in that moment of ecstasy that you are not a physical thing to be held. So now, if that is only the thought and it can be held only in the mind, can you ever be alone? Isn't it amazing? Can you ever be alone? A physical husband will go somewhere, isn't it? And you will be without him, right? Even if he goes to work. But that husband, the way it is, if you become the true bride, you can never be without him, and that's what he's saying. Shabda mili na vichhade. Pirke ank samay. You are part of him now. And he's part of you. Har nirmal mat ujla bin gur paya na jaye. Path pade na bujhai bhekhi bharam bhulaye. Now here comes the other one that we have fallen to the trap. Isn't it a direct instruction? Path pade na bujhai. तो सिखा नु किया जाता है पाठ करो जी पाठ थोड़ा नहीं पांच बाणियां था. Just read. If you read with it, that should be okay, that should be enough. And what's Gurbani saying? Paad pade na bujhai. Just reading is not going to solve this riddle. You have to do the meditation. But what will happen if you do that? You say, Pekhi parampulai. What will happen? Pek, you know what that is?
No.
You will look like one. Pek, vase, bhek. Vase means to wear the clothes, bhek means to make the makeup and look like one. You will be the artificial type and people will say, he's a very great or she's a very greater saint. Look, Swere Sham Path kar dena. There is a group of people that I see visiting St. Hannah. Every Sunday, they come in the morning and they leave after 10:30. And what is their claim to the fame? Swere Swere Aya ji Asa Divar suni. That's it. And that's their belief. How did that belief got formed? Because somebody said so. Never sat down and analyzed. Asa Divar ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸੁਣਨੀ ਹੈ. And the Asa Divar starts by saying, Hare Amrit Bhinne Loena Man Prem Ratanna Ram Raje. That's where the start is. Mind, Har Amrit Bhinne Loena. The eyes are actually peaceful with the Amrit Naam. And the mind, Man Prem Ratana, mind is completely colored with his love. Man Ram Kasvati Laya Kanchan Sovirna. So when the mind was tested on what? Man Ram Kasvati. When it was tested on the stone of the ultimate creator, he found no fault in it. Kanchan Sovinna. Sone varga saaf nikle. बस ये सुन जाने. It's mind boggling. Gurbani says, हर निर्मल अत उजला बिन गुर पाया ना जाए, पाठ पढ़े ना बूझई पेखी परम पुलाए, गुरमति हर सदा पाया रसना हर रस समाए. This tongue is literally merged, submerged into the taste of that word, that naam. That means it never forgets it. It has become part of it. Maya moh chukaya, gurmati sah subhaye, bin sabde jag dukhiya phire, man mukha nu gai khaye, shabde naam te aaye, shabde sach samaye. Bin shabde jag dukhiya phire. Because we never question this, we never ask this, that I've been doing this thing for X number of years, weeks, months, whatever. How come there is nothing happening peaceful within me? Why there is no change in me? और ये सारी किस्मत ये इस तरह दी है कि दुनिया सारी ठीक है, but God is just not kind to me. He is just so partial. I do everything right. It's totally his fault. He's partial. Whenever I hear these statements, I am reminded of a movie in the Hollywood they just made. What was that? Bruce Almighty, something like that?
God Almighty.
No.
Bruce Almighty.
It was Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty.
Yeah. Where this guy is complaining to the God all the time, and the hypothesis of the movie is that the God comes down to him and say, if you think you can do a better job of running the world, you got all my powers for 1 week. Go ahead, do what you want to do. And he discovers how he messes up the whole thing. It's a hilarious way of looking at. The beautiful comedy they create out of it, that he starts hearing voices and he says, what is this? He says, well, these are the prayers. And you are not answering them, you are ignoring them. So now there are so many of them that he cannot keep up with it, and he says, everybody prayer is answered. Okay. And the next day there are riots in the city because everybody wins the lottery. So now all the money is divided among every winner. Left is $7. And they are doing a riot that the lottery was fixed.
That's a good one. It's a love to see. Is it still running?
No. It's in a DVD now.
We only complain without paying attention. Because the hypothesis of the movie is that you are focused on the self and you keep on blaming the other. Even in love, his girlfriend leaves him because he's so focused on himself. And the day he gets to a stage where he says, I am happy in whatever she's happy, and the day his life changes. That's how the movie ends. Bin shabde jag dukhiya phire. We have not understood the word, or I should say the verdict. We really haven't. So what happens? We are following our own mind. What's our own mind? Collection of information from all of our surroundings from day one. We start collecting the information. Today there was a little clip about that little girl born to the couple Brad? No. Tom Cruise. That girl is 18 months now. And the observers are observing that there is absolutely no way this girl is going to grow up good, because they say no to absolutely nothing. So they were observing that whatever she doesn't like, they immediately adjust to her, both husband and wife. Of course they have the resources and they can pacify the child in whatever they want. But that's not the point. The point is that that mind is creating that expectations, and as they grow, then they expect the rest of the world to behave that way, and it doesn't work, and then out of that comes the misery. What is the misery? It's our own creation. Why? Because we are following our own mind. We are not listening to the will. How do you get to this? Shabde namatya ye shabde sach samay. Listen to that word. Follow that word. And only then it's possible for you to get to somewhere. Maya bhule siddh fire samad na lage subhai. The so-called sadhu, so-called yogis, what are they doing? Say Maya bhule. They are going around the world. Why? Hey, we have left the world. Okay, fine. Go leave the world. Oh no, but we have to eat. So then what? Go back to the world and beg from them. Wait a minute. I thought you wanted to leave the world. No, leave the world. How have you left the world if the sustenance of your mind-body system is dependent on the one who are in the world? How have you left the world? And they have not understood the concept. They have not understood that that's not leaving the world. World is not left by leaving the world. World is left by being in there and detaching the mind. It's not removing the body. It's detaching the mind.
But you can't detach the mind as long as you stay in that surrounding, so you need to get away.
That's what the bhakti is. That's what the meditation is. That's why I'm saying just spend 5 minutes detached from the self and look at the self. Become the observer of the self. Start putting that to the practice. Serena ji, it is possible to do it while you are living in the world. It's not easy. Why it should be easy? Look at the reward. The highest possible potential of the human is achieved by following that process. You are willing to spend 30 years to get a degree. How many years you spend to become a doctor?
30 years.
Isn't it?
About that.
Well, that's my case. So that's what it's saying. Bhule maya siddh phire smad na lage subhai. They are running around and they are calling Sadi Samadhi lag jandi. There's no meditate. You are not enlightened or anything. You are running around the world just collecting. And you are wasting the life. Tine lo vyapata hai. Tine lo. 3 words. What are the 3 words? Earth, water, air. That's the existence. Is it not? The creation, life energy exists in air, on the ground, and under the ground, or in the water. All life form follow the same rules. The Maya, the illusion, follows the same way. Tine lo vyapat hai, adhik rahi lapataye. This illusionary world has captured all 3 dimensions. Bin gur mukta na paiye, dubda maya jaye. Without understanding this with the help of the master who's gone ahead of you, you are not going to solve this riddle. And what will happen? Dubida. What is a dubida? Duality. This is also there, this is also there, this is also there. राह विच आए ने 2 रस्ते इधर जाके उधर जा. That Maya किसनु आखिए? So now let me define what the Maya is, what the illusion is. Maya किसनु आखिए? Here is the definition. Maya karma kamai. All of the physical actions that are being taken, they are all forming part of Maya. There is another definition somewhere. Yehi Maya jit har visare moho upajay. It does 2 things. What? Creates the attachment. Yehi Maya jit moho upajay har visare. And then out of that what happens? You forget the Creator, you forget God. All the actions, what happened to those actions? Dukh dik sukh e jiyo bad hai haume karma kamaye. Here is the illusion definition of Maya. Dukh sukh. The life is running or going between the positive and negative, and the Jio, the Jivistri, is tied in that, is caught in that, and how may karma kamaye. All of the actions are tied with the ego. And that's your definition of your Maya. How do you get rid of it? Bin shabde bharmana chuke. See, how many times the same word is repeated? You're not going to get out of it. You're not going to get out of it. And that's what? We are going to listen to this and say, Bada Anand aaya. Panchan da akhya sir mothe parnala phir hote da.
Sorry, there is an improvement.
Yeah, don't call him he. She. That is the improvement. I am bigger than, because he is a part of me. I am she. He. He is a man. I am a woman.
Man cannot exist without lady, without woman. Without his mom, he wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not going to.
No, you were out. He just said they can't be without the mom. They can have child without the mom outside the womb.
I don't understand why that is such a difficult thing to understand. The 3 religions of the world basically says to you that he created the first human, right? Man or woman, doesn't matter. He created the first human.
correct.
Right?
Correct.
Where was the woman then? Did he not create it without the woman?
Why we are stuck with that? I can't understand.
I don't understand. What is so difficult about understanding this?
But why we are stuck with this? It's all ego.
All.
Ego. It's just
Why don't we look at these belief systems, go inside and shatter them once for all?
right.
They have no value. They drag you down like the gravity ties you down to the earth. Cut these threads so that you can fly. It's holding you down. The world can exist without you. He has a possibility. He did it once. Can he not do it again?
He will create woman first woman.
Okay.
He will not make the same mistake again. He will create woman first.
Alright.
This is a humor. I have understood what you said. Take my word for it. I wrote here, shatter old belief system. And I double underlined.
Okay. So they are shattered.
But there was no world at that time. It was just empty. That was the first human he made.
We are so
From what?
From there.
From dust, right?
Are we talking Christianity? I mean, I don't know.
And
When-
Buddhism has it too.
When a snail is born, where is the mother?
Gone.
how he comes up with these examples?
Vipa, what is that?
Snail.
What's some
I don't know.
single cell.
I don't know.
What's it?
Andaj jeraj se dhajkini utbhuj khan bahaur rach deni. 4 types of life. The creative way of, how did he create? Andaj, egg, anda. Chicken is out of the egg, right?
Anda first or
Birds.
chicken first?
Bird. Okay.
Zer. Zer means lashansa. Okay? That's, so if you look at the cow, if you look at the female body, the creation is out of the plashansa. Andaj, jeraj, sedhaj, moisture, pasina, water. As the rain comes, different type of creations comes out of the earth. Right? Life form. Jeraj, sedhaj, kini, utbhuj khan bahaur rajategi. And the 4th, the greenery, vegetation. That's also life form. Where there is no so-called muscles and veins and all that. But that's a type of creation. So 4 types of creations. Where is the role of the mother? In placenta and in the egg. That's it. The other 2 creations are without the mother. Are they not?
That's why they call it Mother Earth.
That's why it's called, that's why the earth was called mother. So this false ego, being a woman and being able to do this and that and that and that and that, is not helping your consciousness to grow. It's actually pulling you down. Just as the male ego. So what is Gurbani saying here? ए दुख सुख ए जियो बद है हमें कर्म कमाए बिन शब्दे परम ना चुके. Without you get that duality is not going to go through out of you, and what will happen? The ego will keep on increasing. If you want the ego to go away, it's not going to happen. Na vicho hame jai. The ego is not going to go unless you understand the secret of the word and start implementing it. Brin priti pagatana hovi bin shibde thai na pai. Now, earlier message was that the only seva, only service is bhakti, the meditation. But how do you get to the meditation? And he says, bin priti. Without the feeling of love, you can't get started on this. And that becomes a very tough situation. Because you can love something if you see something, if you can touch something, if you can experience something. Something which is just a concept. To fall in love with it unconditionally is a tough thing to do. That's why everybody is not able to do it. Because when you love something that you can touch and it returns back the love immediately, right? That's what we are used to. The child comes in, hugs you, you hug the child hugs you, there is a sudden exchange of energy, and that is something that you can deal with. But if there is a Sudhe Noor tusi hathane aaye saadi kamadi rahi kalai, what will you do? He said, but understand that. That's the starting point. Right now you are in love, but with what? With the Maya, with illusionary things. All you need to do is reverse that. Change the direction. You know how to love. You are only being suggested that you change the object of your love and see what happens to the life. How it changes. You have seen what the love of the outside has done to you.
Very unhappy.
Right? So, and that's what it said. Gurbani said that bin shabde bharmna jukai vicho home jaye na vicho home jaye bin priti pagatna hovi bin shabde thai na paye shabde home mariye maya ka bharm jaye. Then that duality, that plus and minus thought will disappear. If you develop the feeling of love, नाम पदार्थ पाइये गुरमुख सह सुभाए बिन गुण न जापणी बिन गुण भगत न होए. So the last couplet here says bin gun na japani. You need to be in the company of those, follow the one, the one who's gone ahead of you. Without that, you are not going to be able to see that subtlety, and without seeing that, you will not get on the meditation path. Bhakta Vashla har man vasya sahaj milaya prabh soye. If you do that, then that creative energy would have the possibility of gracing you. Nanak shabde har sala ye karma prapat hoye. If you continue on that path, which is shabde har sala ye, if you continue on that meditation, karma prapat hoye, His grace is then possible for you. So that's the conclusion of the 21st Ashatpadi. We'll take a pause here, and in our next session we'll continue the journey. Thank you all for coming.
What is Maya under Udasi?
To stay within the duality but be detached. Udasi literally means be detached. Yeah. It is the detached part which is the difficult one. I understand.
Thank you for the prasad. That was very nice. Very nice of you.
हमने कहाँ लाके दिया है? ये तो
She gave it.
Yeah.
she gave it. That's right. You may call he or she.
No, not when Asha is here. We will always say she while she is here.
Now, you have heard the joke, haven't you? God created, first was man, and then he took a look at it and paused, and then he said, I can do better, and then he created woman.
And then neither he rested nor the man rested.
Yeah, that is the rest of the story.
You are leaving the
पर कहाँ से लूँ ये?
गीता प्रेस
आपने ग्रंथ साहब कितनी बार पढ़ा?
शिव पुराण from
You know it's so
गीता प्रेस
Gita Press.
कहीं इंडिया से कहीं गीता प्रेस
So
गोरखपुर से
beautiful.
मंगा ली, कहीं
वो जो आपका लास्ट टाइम सवाल था
Okay, thank you.
उस शब्द को लाइए मैं आपको क्योंकि मैं आई वांट टू राइट इट टू यू बट देन आई फॉरगॉट आई सेड ओके वी हैव द टाइम नाउ एंड सो वेरी
My feet got
सास की जो ससुरे की और देवर की और जेठ की बात कर रहे
Oh
थे
yeah.
कबीर जी
Oh, I
के
see. Yeah.
did you get it or not
No, I haven't.
unbelievable.
no but did you
I wear
find
shoes.
it or
I
I
wear shoes.
I understood
See?
what you mean.
See?
It was symbolic, but
Because it
thought
I
process
was in
was
sun
that
too much.
they brought that
And
out,
then
and
I
for a
don't know
layman,
how to remove that.
that
pen.
is what
It's
the
very
layman
good.
is relate to.
Yeah.
That is why
Yeah.
most of your grunt. That's why I asked you. My question to you: how many times you have read Granth Sahib? Because every
No.
time you talk about Granth Sahib,
They're getting better.
you bring the message so
The
beautifully,
contrast is so much.
and to bring that message, you have
So if I sit like this, everybody keeps
this
looking
together,
like
you
that.
have internalized the whole Granth Sahib word by word.
Nobody loves.
And then the
Not
grace
really.
has come to you to understand it.
whatever it is coming
Take
but
that
no.
feeling.
But you understand it. So,
It is
and that is why it is like, when I said about Christianity, I understand the society wanted the Christianity to expand, so they send them.
no
and
no
all
no no
that.
society
No,
never
I mean the
church.
The church.
The organization.
That's organization,
yeah
not the.
organization wants they still want more
They still.
right
So when
I mean look at Osama bin Laden
right.
is saying, hey America, you don't want me to kill your people? Become Muslim or we'll stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, he's not making any secret out of it. He said,
No.
become Muslim, we'll stop.
But he's not the only one. There are lots of people.
So,
Saying that.
and what is the Pope saying? He goes to
Become
the
Christian.
this Jordan and all that, the places, and he does the same thing.
This is all the what you just said, society or the not the society,
It's just the
but
membership drive,
membership. So we
and
have to.
more the member. That's why they what is their logic? 1.5 billion people around the world cannot be wrong. There must be something good.
Yeah,
Why
they
did
lost
this
them.
thing become so great? Oh, give me a break.
Yeah,
You have no idea how many people
sheeps.
just would not stand the thought of leaving this earth under torture and said, tell me what you want. You want to say Allah? I'll say Allah. That's it.
That's right.
Hitler would have been able to convert all of those people into Nazism rather than killing them had he given them the choice. He never gave them the choice. He just said, die. That's it.
Because he wanted to create a super
No, well,
race.
again, that is his definition
that
of
was
super
a
race.
super race, yeah. It's amazing how the thought process and all that goes. But one thought you just brought out, which I has been there, but you hit it today, because in life, loving and children or your people or anybody, you are in love with them, and after you get the feeling what love is, and then the love of God comes, that feeling comes to you for Him because you have experienced love. That I would say every time there is a different message for everybody. I'm sure the message comes to you from a different angle.
John Donne was an English poet who wrote a poem called Death Be Not Proud.
Very interesting.
And one of the logic there he gives that if out of 8 hours of sleep the human drives so much pleasure. If the sleep is endless,
Oh yes, I love it.
would not it be the
I
most
always felt that.
beautiful way of being?
Then we wouldn't know anything else.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
God, you talk about creative energy that's everywhere, but yet you say His grace and He decides, which is more like the Christian God who decides who's good and who's bad. Isn't it something that's there? If we
Nothing,
meditate,
not
we
even closer to
become
the
one?
Christian God at all.
Well, it's
We
the
have
only
never
one.
talked about the God in that sense.
Well, okay, so to me it's like
Tell me what gives you the impression?
because it's His decision if He's going to give us grace or some. I've heard that over even today. He said it's His decision. If He'll grace us, I mean, we could decide to meditate. See, I always think
His
bring your mind
grace-
to a point that you recognize it.
His grace in Sikhism is only referred in terms of enlightenment, not in terms of giving you the tasty snacks to eat. That is something that you are entitled to and you will get it. Enlightenment you are not entitled to. Survival you are entitled to. So the enlightenment will come with His grace.
What does that mean with His grace?
But
He
when I am
decides-
ready,
Yeah, I mean, is it me I'm doing it? Like we were talking before, He doesn't care. He's there. Is the energy everywhere that when we get to a point we become one with Him? Or is there a separate entity that says, okay, I give
No,
you
no,
grace?
no, no, no.
I know, that's how it comes to me. Maybe it's just English words, so.
Okay, let's spend some time on that. It's a rainy season nowadays, right?
right?
It's a rainy season.
Yeah.
So think of the rain coming down. I take this cup and put it outside because I want to catch the rainwater. You with me so far? But the cup is covered, has a lid on it. What will happen to the rain?
Nothing goes in.
And nothing will go in, right? And the rain is not going to stop because this cup here doesn't have a lid on,
Right.
right?
Right.
Okay. Let's say I take the lid off, but fill it with sand. So now what? Or stones.
Some water goes in.
Yeah.
It's still not catching much rainwater,
Yeah.
is it? Let us say I decide I'm being foolish. If I want to catch, I need to throw everything out, clean it up, and put it back. So I come to the kitchen, throw the sand out, wash it. I go back outside, put the cup, and by the time the rain is stopped. Now what? That's what called His grace. His grace is there, like the rain, available to everybody. But the pot first has to be willing. Secondly, has to be ready, meaning completely empty. And then, if he wishes, it will fill it, or it may stay empty, even though it is still clean and empty.
So it's according to his wish. That's what
That is, but only in terms of an enlightenment. Do not take that and apply it the way Christians apply it. Oh God, make my cancer go away.
God bless me.
No, that's not how I was. But the fact that it stopped raining, I thought that we'll go do all those things with the cup. But finally, when we decide we want to take the empty cup out there, it'll still be raining. That the creative energy, the
But
love
that's
is
his
always
wish.
there.
That is his wish. Rain is not controlled by your wish, because you are cleaning the pot and getting it ready is not mandating him to control the schedule of the rain.
I understand. So there is a him and there is a decision he's making. It's not constant rain every day. We have to figure out how to get it. Like
And what we say is, you see, if when you clean the pot and empty it out, and you expect it to be always filled by His grace,
no, I just figured out that that's my mistake.
that implies that He is conditional.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay?
That's not what I'm saying.
That your cleaning the pot must always bring Him to fill it up.
No, people might not even know. They may be on different paths in life and do different things. And by the time they get their mind, whatever we call people,
And I'm okay with that. By the time they are empty of all the thoughts,
right?
the next step must be His grace, makes it a cause and an effect. Right? It ties them together as a cause and a, action and reaction.
I don't know. I guess that's what I'm asking. Or
And
is
the
it
answer to the question, He is not a reaction to anything. That's why it is called His grace. He is not bound by anything. That is the concept being made, that because if that becomes a cause, your ego gets even more strengthened. Hey, see, I made it completely clean.
No, I was talking about cause and effect, really.
It becomes a cause and effect. Tell me, if every time that result has to be there, have you not tied Him to the cause and effect? Every time that happens, it has to be there.
No, there's no has to be. I just assumed because we are part of the creation that His love is something that's available.
But what is that assumption based on?
It's a felony. You know, look at that and a blast card. It's a felony.
What is that assumption based on? It's a nice hypothesis to delve into, dig deeper. You just said that. I assumed. And say, okay, now go into that assumption and say, why did I assume that? What is that based on? Because I have an expectation I have set up. Hey, look, I take the responsibility of emptying the pot. I take the responsibility of cleaning the pot. Once I have done it, I expect you to fill it up with your grace. that becomes my wish, not his.
But to get enlightenment in self-realization and all that is also my wish, not his wish.
We have to love it.
And I will remind you of this that we have said a number of times. You start your journey with that wish. And you end the journey by dropping that wish as well.
I know you said that, but
You have to get the stage where say, thy will be done. Even that last thing has to be given up.
Yeah, but then it may not happen, right?
Which is perfectly okay. Isn't that his will?
That's true. But there is a will. That's
That everything is his will.
could be.
Whole creation is his will.
Don't give up. Could be your next life or next life. Oh no. Just that's all it is.
yeah, that's true. She's right.
No, so we learn it from Pakistan.
That is what.
Not that.
And I have shared this story of Buddha. I'll repeat it here. That his last penance was when somebody told him to spend 24 hours on 1 grain of rice. Because he kept on going, well, I still haven't achieved anything. For 12 years. Every master would actually tell him, whatever I knew, you are doing it perfectly. I don't know why you are not getting there. Go to that master. And he kept on traveling from master to master, staying with them and doing and following exactly what they said him to do. Last penance was that, and you know that the body can survive itself for about 90 days without food, solid food. After the first 30 days, it will eat only the stored energy, which is the fat. After the first 30 days, then it starts eating the body itself, the muscles, and you start becoming thinner and thinner, and the muscles and thinner. Now, one day, he is getting up in the morning and was going to take a bath in the river that was flowing by, and he became so weak that just a small flow water current took him away, and he could not stand in the water, and he felt very ashamed that how weak he has made himself. Suddenly he held on to the roots of the tree that was on that bank, and with the roots he pulled himself out, and he's lying down on that little canal or river bank and looking at the stars and saying, what a stupid person I am. There is no God. There is nothing to be found. This was all a lie told by all these so-called wise guys. They took me for a ride. I'm going to finish all this now. Nothing to be discovered. And I'm not doing anything. He just lied down. And by the time he's looking at the star, as the star is dying, that last wish of finding God is also dying. And as the star goes down, as the enlightenment comes up. That's the story of his life. But you can't take that end result and apply it now. You will never start.
No, that story is okay with me because
This is a good one. Very good.
no, that one is okay.
Because as it dies, the other one came up. It's not that God decided to grace it. It's just how.
No.
You give up everything.
No. You're still missing it. There was something in that part still. It wasn't empty. The grace just could not come in.
So then that answers my question. When the part is empty, grace comes in, period.
No.
Then it's not a grace.
What logic?
Then that is not a grace, that is a reward. That's a reward for your actions. It isn't a grace. It's not a prasad. You cannot be rewarded.
Actually, isn't the desire for the grace also drops?
It has to.
Or then it,
It has to drop. If it doesn't, you will never get there.
right. You can.
But because you have stopped does not guarantee it.
Then where are you at that point?
You're still searching.
Path.
You're still waiting.
In the
But you're
sense,
not really waiting because you've dropped everything anyway. So
You are
you're
just
somewhere.
being there. That's it. You're just there.
Being there.
I mean, there are hymns in Guru Granth Sahib of those levels. One of the hymns is दूध कटोरे गड़वे पानी कप लगाए नामे धोए आनी दूध पियो गोबिंदे राय दूध पियो मेरो मन पते आए ना ही तो घर को बाप रिसाए. Translated, that in a bucket of gold I have brought the milk from a couple guy, mythological guy, cow, which fulfills all of your desires. So the milk from there. And what is that milk? I am offering to you, O God. Please accept this milk from me. Because if you don't, then I know you are still mad with me. So that is a hymn indicating to a meditator who within the self is praying and saying, the mind and the body are as pure as the metal gold, as pure as the milk. But that's only what I see. Unless you accept it, it may be just an illusion of my mind. I may be just creating it. It may not be true. I may not be completely empty. The only proof of my emptiness would be when you grace.
did he?
So that's it. If you're really empty, he will come. You will get.
I give
Why
up.
wouldn't he?
I give up.
No, because
You just said that. You just
No,
said
I'm saying that such states exist
where you're not sure.
where you're not sure.
But you said if you
Okay.
the only way
And
to
I'm
recognize-
saying to you is, it is not a reward. It's not an action and a reaction.
It's not
It's a
that,
prasad.
it's not that if I have done this much, so I must get this much.
Yeah, I know it's coming
That's what
out
you
like
said.
that, but I'm talking about states, and I just
That
saying
may
that
come.
God decides
Yeah. When
that
it,
part.
when.
Is
Yeah.
I was having trouble with God.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's okay. Struggle with it. It's good struggle.
You're right.
Embrace that
Then
struggle.
we are making him a man, or something like that. Like you said, don't think about it like a man.
Oh, like
I'm saying just
Or like
think.
a woman.
All I'm saying is think about, call it a he, she, it.
Yeah, it's
Because whatever you will call will be wrong. Because it will be incomplete.
whatever.
The language just doesn't have the words.
Yeah, I understand.
English or Hindi or no language has a word, because the language describes a characteristic. And Gurbani says, Tere gun bahut main ek na jane. Your characteristics are so many, how should I qualify them? How should I categorize them? I can't.
What is
Nature.
Outside. आपे कुदरत साज के आपे करे विचार एक खोटे एक खरे आपे परखन हार. So Kudrat is the second. आपी ने आप साजियो आपी ने रचियो नाम.
Creation.
Creation. दुई कुदरत साजी है. There are only counting of two. One him, two everything else.
So, in your words, God is a spirit, energy, and
Sometimes when you say nature, it's
Absolutely not. What God is cannot be said in the language. You can describe what it is not. You cannot say what it is. Because you only can say if you are face to face and can see it. You can't. Because by the time that happens, that's the metaphor of those few lumps of salt sitting on the beach, trying to find the depth of the ocean. As deeper you go, you lose a part of you. And end result, you completely dissolve yourself into without ever touching the bottom. That's the metaphor. Look at what's happening to today. I would suggest to you, when you go home, Google galaxies and see how many galaxies the science has been able to document it and what their distances are. And then find out what's happening to the boundary to where they have gone so far.
it is mind-boggling.
It is expanding and it is expanding ever faster. When they look at it today, the speed is so much. When they look at tomorrow, the speed has increased. So now the question is, expanding into what?
Infinite.
It's true, infinite.
And that is the today's science. Imagine 1,000 years ago when the people were just looking
Moon.
and making the stories. Do you know the spot on the moon that we see? What is the story in Hindu mythology? Gautam, the wife's name was Ahalya.
Many mythologies.
Huh?
There's not one.
There are
many,
several.
many.
Yeah, no, but here is a story I'm going to tell you. That the spot we see, the dark spot on the moon, okay? The story is that Gautama Rishi went to take bath, and Gautama is the teacher of Indra Devta. But Gautama's wife is so pretty that Indra is ashik on her and he wants to sleep with her. But she wouldn't agree. So while he is now, Chandrama is protecting the household while Gautama is gone. Indra comes in, converts himself into his body, the Gautama's body, and goes to Ahalya, and she can't recognize him, so she sleeps with him. Gautama comes in and finds Indra sleeping with Ahalya. He curses Gautama, Indra, so his whole body actually is spotted with the female vagina. There are spots on his body looking like that. He takes his towel and hits Chandrama because he was supposed to protect, and that's the spot on his face.
Never heard of that.
It's a lot of stories, whatever people had.
But the story made perfect sense at that time, right? 1,000 years ago, no human, forget 1,000 years ago. I was in Bombay, and there was a girl who used to learn from the same teacher music. And at that time, this competition between India, America and Russia was going on. So her father sat down with me and said, "You are a science student, let me tell you what's going to happen. The day, if at all, they are able to go to the moon, they will all be destroyed and all the people who send them there. It is against the laws of Allah." Those are the belief systems. चंदा मामा दूर के.
लेकिन एक बुरा हुआ, फुल मून यानी कितने रोमांटिक पोएम्स वगैरह ये वो सारा डिस्ट्रॉय हो गया.
जी आप क्या बात करते हैं? औरत के बालों के साथ कितने गीत लिखे गए? आप कहाँ छुपेगा चांद वो 2.5 इंची बालों में? पूरा चांद छुप जाता था, मस्या की रात हो जाती थी. तो अब आदमी मुंह कहाँ छुपाएगा?
That's true.
बाल बढ़ाओ दोबारा भाई, आपके तो बहुत लंबे थे.
या यहाँ तक थे. That's true. Yeah, it is to be fun.
औरत के लिए 4 चीजें लंबी हिंदुस्तान ने कही है होनी चाहिए. लंबे बाल, लंबी लाख, लंबी टांग. ये 4 खूबसूरती के निशान है. बाल, गर्दन, कमर और टांगे. There are 40 characteristics of female body that India recognizes as beautiful, and they are grouped in 4 each. Long जो है, इसी तरह से मोटी आंखें, हरण के बुल, yeah, so if you want, you can go actually read it.
Google
Yeah.
that too.
No, because I know if I go there, then you can say, "Well, my God, he has read that Shastra too." Yeah.
You work more hours than regular. You drive back and forth. You meditate. When do you get time for this extra stuff?
As the Google also.
And Google. And read all that.
पहले तो दीवान सब वैसे ही बैठे रहते थे कंप्यूटर के
अब
सामने.
तो सब Google.
I still won't have time to.
So what do you Google here? What do you say? Beauty?
Yeah,
Just beauty?
women's beauty.
I don't know, just
Beauty.
Yeah, just search it around, you'll find.
India beauty.
Yeah. According to the Vedas, there are 40 characteristics in a groups of 4. So there are 10 groups. लंबे होने चाहिए, मोटे होने चाहिए, काले होने चाहिए, पतले होने चाहिए. इस तरह की सब बातें जो है वो उसमें. जैसे देखिए ना.
But no one woman has all those 40 things.
I hope not.
Aishwarya Rai.
जो है उसमें ही इतनी मुश्किल है. अगर सभी आ गए तो क्या होगा?
No one is perfect.
अंगूर की बेटी का अगर ये है हाल, अच्छा उसके घर बेटा ना हुआ.
Wow.
समझे आप? अंगूर की बेटी किसको कहते हैं? शराब को, वाइन को.
Wine.
कहते हैं अंगूर की बेटी का है अगर ये हाल, अच्छा हुआ है अंगूर के घर बेटा ना हुआ.
Angur is grapes.
Okay.
Grape creates wine. So the poet says, he calls the wine as a daughter. Daughter of the grape. If the daughter of the grapes can create such a havoc with the human mind, thank God the grapes don't have a son.
Okay.
But wine you can make out of several other things also. But this was perfect. This goes perfect.
This one that particularly talking about the
Wine? You can make out of what? What else?
या खुदाया तू बनाता मुझे भट्टी शराब की, क्यों बना के मुझे इंसान मेरी मट्टी खराब की.
This is Urdu poetry, and it has its beauty of its own. Really.
Because that was the only escape from the reality.
एक बार और.
What was the question?
एक बार और.
Why the poets are so hung up on wine?
Drinks.
And because there is no other, because a poet is a sensitive mind which sees the reality in its nakedness. है ना? जैसे वो कहते हैं पैसा जिसको बचो ये चीज बड़ी मामूली है, मगर इस पैसे के पीछे सब दुनिया रास्ता भूली है. इंसान की बनाई चीज है ये, लेकिन इंसान पे भारी है, छोटी सी झलक इस पैसे की. अब देखिए क्या कहते हैं, दीन और ईमान पे भारी है, ये सच को झूठ कर देता है और झूठ को सच बनाता है. भगवान नहीं पर हर घर में भगवान की पदवी पाता है.
वाह 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 वाह.
Now when he can see the God being replaced by money and the money starts getting worshipped, how does he live with that thought? So he wants to escape the thought, so he goes to the club, pub, and he drinks. Because he cannot get rid of the pain of what happened. What did happen here to the man? What happened to the society? जी करदा है इस दुनिया नु मैं हंस के ठोकर मार दे. Right? Why is he saying that? मोहब्बत में सुकून महरूमियों के बाद आता है कि जब हर आसरा लुट जाए तब दिन चैन पाता है. ये क्या हो गया? He sings that you only relax when you have no sport. Why is that? ये क्या जिद है कि दुनिया भी रखो और दिल ना मैला हो? ये दुनिया खुशी तब होती है जब दिल टूट जाता है. दिल तोड़ के सब दा ये दुनिया ये अपना मन परचाउंदी है. जिउंदे जी कंडे देंदी है, मोयां ते फुल चढ़ाउंदी है.
That's correct. Absolutely. When you are alive, you are thrown all kinds of things, including cow dung. It's all,
And when you die,
then
what
you
happens?
get flowers.
Everybody carries the flowers.
Yeah.
Okay.
While you are alive,
Thorns on you.
only thorns, little pricks. Yeah, I know you, who you are.
Yeah.
You're never going to be happy. I know you. अरे ये क्या है? Little needle in every little word. And when they die, same human becomes God. Oh, I can't live without him. He was so nice to me and he took care of me. And now I don't even know what I'm going to do with the paperwork. And who's going to go to the bank?
How I will take care of
Who will going to put the gas in my car and who's going to do the lawn?
fix my car.
Because now he can't come back to trouble and harass and nag and all that. So now you can cry. You start missing that cruel treatment. Very good, very good.
तभी तो कहता कदी ते पेके जा नहीं बेगम.
I did. Sorry, I missed it.
कदी ते पेके जा नहीं बेगम कुछ आवे सुख दा सा नहीं बेगम.
So he's saying it's both ways. It Could be both ways, not only just.
इकट्ठे रह रह थक गए हैं, एक था बह बह अक गए हैं, टींडे वांगू पक गए हैं,
Oh my God! So soon?
पर भी नको नक गए हैं.
I didn't get that one.
इक्के छप्पड़ दे विच नहा के की खटिया है विआह करवा के, जिंदगी लंघ गई रो रवा के, थक गए तेरियां झिड़कां खा के.
Last one I got it. Last one I got it. Last one I definitely got it.
You have to learn it. You have to learn it.
Tired of being together. Tired of listening to all nonsense and all that. You know, that's the bottom line.
Go to your
But
parents' house for some time. Because
familiarity breeds contempt. I think it is.
Love and hate. Love and hate. Love and hate.
Well, how you remember all these things?
I thought it was only Granth Sahib. I asked him how many times he had read Granth Sahib. He remembers it so good.
Yesterday,
It's photo memory, photographic memory.
I mean, for the whole week, the newspaper and the coupons and every cuttings were scattered all over the floor, and I was just getting up to here. So last night I got up, collected everything, because Thursday the garbage people come, and I wanted to just clear it out. And immediately the voice came from the corner: "Stop it! You're going to throw something that I need."
Means something. You're going to throw
Hey, this is my filing system. Just leave it alone.
Weren't
But
you
should
wrong?
also tell you don't go shopping, so you know.
But why
somebody
would
take
you?
care of all that.
Why would you try to pick that up which belonged to somebody else? Somebody else was cutting and using to save money.
It's okay. If they cut it, picked it up and put it away, that was fine.
Don't pick it up.
You do not see the light. You just want to pick the argument. That's the problem. There are newspapers, there is a magazine, there are coupon, and they're all intermixed and scattered on the floor since Sunday, because Sunday is the coupon day.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And on Thursday I lost my patience.
You're right.
See, that's why I picked up everything and I cleaned it.
That's something nice.
You cut the coupons, you file them properly,
Yeah.
No problem.
and throw the rest of the trash. Okay? But the problem is
If it's a fire.
that the clean house is the sign of a clean mind.
Sick
A
mind.
dirty house is the sign of a busy woman who doesn't have the time.
No, they say clean house.
Right?
Sick
Now,
mind.
that's the difference. When the household is cluttered, the first difference is I am so busy and nobody around helps me here. That's why this is the way it is.
Yeah.
The other side of the fence is never looked at. Dr. Phil had a show on it. On rat
And you
packs.
have time even to watch Dr.
Oh my God.
on top of all this.
Pack rat.
Uh-huh. I saw that one.
Remember that? And he said, here is the bottom line. The feminine energy thrives on control.
Uh-oh.
So if you will offer to clean the trash for that family, say, leave it alone. Because that is something that is under my total control. It's not talking back to me, it's not hitting back, it's not saying anything. Trash is something that can have complete control. So don't move it. Leave it alone. I will do it when I have the time. And that time never comes because cleaning means losing control.
Dr. Phil said that?
Yeah.
So I have no control because my house, always, I don't like this pick it, throw.
That's clean.
That's the other control.
Yeah.
So I don't have the control.
That's other control.
So he had few couples where the husband and wife had only that problem between the two of them.
She never cleans.
Either one of them. I'm not saying only the women. Some men were pack rats and some women were. And they were saying it is... Now, once you understand that it comes out of the... And you should be able to let go of the dead items. Because you are always complaining you cannot control the behavior of the human. So that frustration gets taken out on the dead items.
Right. And
So
that's why we go shopping too.
So and that's why you collect the things as well.
Correct.
And you have heard me say, if any woman can hold the man with the same tenderness as she picks up the garland in her necklace,
Right. He will be her slave. He will be her slave, right?
Got that right.
It's true.
Forever.
He will be her slave forever. I tried to do it, but it keeps dropping.
Yeah. You could even be the slave.
and the funny thing is,
This is not spiritual, this is counseling.
it's not spiritual encounter.
It's counseling.
Counseling session, really.
No. We are using spirituality to the average normal
Everyday
life.
Now you're controlling me.
I'm explaining. The teacher in me never died.
Okay.
And that's what
Teacher is teaching a teacher.
every...
The teacher is trying to teach the teacher.
Okay, let's find out.
There is a beautiful metaphor that a newly married girl goes to the in-laws' house and they are Brahmin. And the Brahmin goes on Nyota for the food.
Big shot.
So the mother-in-law tells the newly married around about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, Bahu, make the bed and make sure it is soft with the pillows and clean. And say, so Mom, it's middle of the day. For who it is? Oh, your father-in-law is going to come from the house and he's going to have so much eaten that he won't be able to sit. He needs to lie down immediately. He's going to be so full, so have the bed ready. And you say, well, you guys haven't learned anything. In our household, that's not how it's done. So, what do you mean? No, we actually send the people from our home to go pick up those to bring home because they cannot even walk. Every girl who goes to the in-laws has the first attempt to change the in-laws to the way she does, rather than learning the way the in-laws do.
Not every girl. I would say. Those who do adopt, very happy.
Well, it takes a while. And Gurbani says that very clearly. That what happens, because we are all going to be his brides. So if we go to his home and try to apply the things we have learned on the ground, he's going to send us back. We have to learn the ways of our in-laws, because that the same thing happen on the ground also, that if the girl insists on imposing the own in-law things on the in-law, the husband will say, go home. You're not respecting my mother, you're not respecting my father, you're not respecting me, you're not respecting the household tradition here, go back.
So don't try to change your husband either.
Which is the first thing every woman does.
I thought it was our birthright.
Mm-hmm.
Improve, make him better.
That's what you think. If you do the same thing when you go over there, it's back.
Did you pass on that?
And the reality is, he married thinking that there will be someone who will accept me the way I am rather than trying to change me.
Yeah, I mean, if there was nothing to be changed, it was a different.
You'll find
Now there is a long list to be changed. No one is perfect, see. So both try to change each other. That's the mistake right there.
Some smart ones, they impose their rule and law.
What is the normal talk? Forget about
Everybody else
these are all
follows
cliches
that.
what you're talking about. What's the normal conversations between the accept me the way I am? Don't they both say the same thing to each other? Accept me the way I am.
Yeah, I do accept you, they say, the way you are.
But
it is verbal.
But
But
It remains.
And you know, any sentence which starts with if and ends with but.
Yeah.
no, it's not that I accept you, it's that I love you the way you are, but
But.
I can't accept
but-
it.
No, they say accept.
Do they?
I have heard. I
Okay.
accept you.
Yeah.
I-
But
I love you the way you are in sickness and in
Health.
poor and richer for poor and everything.
As soon as they get bankrupt, there's a divorce.
There you I accept you 100% the way you are, and love you and respect you.
the way
and
you
whatnot.
the way you loved Richard.
Exactly. That's it. And both lie because it is all lip only. Yeah, I fully agree with you.
Like marriage, or they should change, instead of saying till death doth us apart, they should say till divorce doth us apart. I love and cherish you.
No, I would say, if next time I have to say, I would say that I will try to change only the things which I don't like about you.
which is almost
No, but the point is that if you want to change and you already know the things you don't like, why go into the bond anyway?
No, because you can't find a perfect person. See, you are not perfect yourself. Let us face facts. When I am not perfect, how can I find someone perfect? So, I mean, definitely it's
Then
a
you
human
should-
being with imperfections.
But
Okay, what if he's more perfect than you?
Oh no.
Why?
impossible.
Why you say no?
No, man can never be better than any woman born on this earth.
Speak the truth.
perfect.
I mean, we have that
Remember,
men are
nahin,
more
nahin.
perfect than the women.
Baljeet, you are forgetting her motto. Man is a subset of a woman.
Part of woman. Man is a part of woman.
He is a subset of she.
Exactly.
He isn't she.
See, we are superior in better sex.
Yeah, so we have 3 letters and you only have 2.
Two.
So
Lincoln
you
used
gotta look at the both sides.
Lincoln's wife's name was Todd.
Angie? Right, God and
Todd. And he used to say that. God has only one D and see what it's doing. And Mary has 2 Ds. You think I'm going to speak in front of her?
It is true. You see, more sacrifice woman does, more adjustment woman does. It's our nature.
No, maybe men don't come.
Someday-
There are men that
someday.
suffer. Don't say that.
When you are done your hobnobbing around,
You can
I want you to
generalize.
come sit down with me for 1 hour of meditation.
That's the best way.
She might be able to do for 1 minute.
I have crossed
I
30
know.
minutes. I have crossed 30 minutes. I do meditate. This is all haha for fun. I'm saying I do meditate every day before sleeping and as soon as I get up. See, I do, and it.
No, that's good.
No, I'm not kidding. No, this is all for haha. I will try that. I will really try that 1 hour. Seriously.
There is a very strong need to get that I out of.
That
That's
is.
for all of us.
Cannot. We cannot.
Yes, we can.
It's
We're
easy.
not there.
Nobody has done
We're
that
not
yet.
there. It's not. a thing.
Even if I don't use it, it will be there in my mind.
That's for sure.
बिना आय के एग्जिस्ट नहीं करना आता है. अगर आता होता तो कौन जगह?
पर भूल तो सकते हैं ना, धीरे धीरे भूल सकते हैं.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
ये वो
Give up
गांधी
using
गांधी
I.
के दोस्त के
I is ego.
बाद उस दिन से पहली बार आई है.
Thinking.
You gotta stop thinking, not just.
Because I, no matter
not
what,
just
I always,
speaking.
I,
Like you
I,
said,
I.
if
So
it's
he's
in your
saying
mind.
drop I. Oh my goodness. Raj, help out here.
You moved her out. Yeah, you did. She's in her own thoughts.
That's why I said, you know, I was trying to. She has such a clarity of thinking and very,
She
it
has her
is
own thoughts.
very nice.
She doesn't jive with all this stuff. This is just.
No, she has very clarity of thinking because, you know, influence is much longer and deep. And then she has Divanji too, you know, so.
That's what I'm saying.
I
She
see.
doesn't jive
Like
with
just
all
one
this.
thing
This
he
is
says,
just nonsense.
Words have no meaning.
Yeah.
I teach people manners and I have been accused of having no manners at all because I don't believe in what I'm teaching
You teach manners?
to people from long time. I teach people a lot of things and I don't do any one of these things because it's all artificial. And I have been known like I don't know how to talk. I say great, I just teach.
You got her. She's completely lost. I think you need to translate.
No.
She has seen it.
Very good. Wow. Drop I. So if I have to say, you know, I thoroughly enjoyed what you said today without using I, how would I say? Today's session was
The
excellent.
talk was enjoyed.
Talk was enjoyed.
मजा आ गया.
Talk was enjoyable. That's it.
Educational, enjoyable. Thought-provoking,
इतने
mind-boggling.
सारे adjective क्या करना है? सीधी बात करो. तुझे कह रहे थे मैं पता
You
नहीं
just
adjective
asked me
क्यों
a
होते हैं.
question. Can I express something without using I?
It was thought-provoking.
Right?
Okay.
The question was, can the conversation go on without using I? And my response to you is, all conversations can go on without ever using I.
Oh my gosh.
All conversations, without exception. Now, there are teachers in both of you, and you know in English language, there is one system that's called active voice.
Passive.
The other is called passive voice. What's the difference between the two?
Teacher, come on.
Change the subject into what?
Passive.
To turn the active into passive.
I have never done it.
Like you.
So don't go about blaming others that it cannot be done. It cannot be lived.
रोटी बनाई जा रही है. मैं रोटी नहीं बना, रोटी बनाई जा रही है.
मैं रोटी बना रहा हूँ या रोटी बनाई जा रही है.
या रोटी बन रही है.
गाला खाई जा रही है ने. गाला खादी जा रही है ने.
What did he say?
Same
What
thing.
did he say?
I don't know.
Passive.
Translation
Passive
of
sound.
Gala.
Yeah, passive. Making
What's the
passive.
translation of Gala?
Translate.
Everything passive.
Abuse.
Abuse are being
Being,
accepted.
he's being abused, verbally abused.
No, he's not. Not he's being abused.
Abuses are being accepted.
Abuse is being done.
Abuse is being accepted.
Yeah, are being accepted.
Instead of saying I am being abused.
But you see where I'm going with this.
No.
In human vocabulary, there is a method of communicating which does not involve the first person. Has been there even before the modern language and sciences came into existence. Even in India, where you say, "Aapka daulat khana, mera garib khana." What does that mean? आपके ही बच्चे हैं. What does that mean?
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
There was a conscientious effort to keep the ego under control so that it doesn't run amok. This society does exactly the opposite.
It's true.
In universities and colleges, it is insisted that you write in the first person.
Even in the computer,
Yeah.
word perfect.
Actually,
perfect.
if you
Yeah.
say check the grammar and this, it'll come back. You say this is a passive voice. Change it. Turn it to an active voice.
That's true. That's true. We get so used to it. Yeah, that's true.
You
Eastern
always override it.
philosophy
I write that.
emphasizes
I
on
begin-
passive.
always
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it
Western
on the message.
philosophy is,
Yeah.
active.
Passive voice.
Yeah.
It's override.
Right. And it's
Ignore.
very difficult when you communicate and you come out passive. It's very difficult for you.
It's not difficult. It's a matter of habit.
No, but Western society, especially in
No. If you are doing in writing, that's a different story.
And it's a matter of habit.
But you can communicate, even and 99% of the people are so busy in accomplishing they wouldn't even notice that you are being passive and not active.
Many times instead of I, if we include others like we, our,
Yeah.
that works also part of it.
Yeah.
So वो जो गांधी इन फिलॉसफी आप कह रहे थे कि इसके बगैर रहा नहीं जा सकता, it is an excuse of the mind because the mind does not want to change. It has a belief system, it doesn't want to expand the belief system. If the belief system is to remain the way it is and it has been, then this is a total waste of time. You might as well do something else which is more worthy and profitable and enjoyable. Because this is just a pure mind game then. It's intellectual gymnastic.
When did we start this? 10 years ago?
No. She was here the day that Gandhian philosopher.
No, I'm
Perfect.
just saying we've been doing this for 9, 10 years. Still 97.
It was
Are we out of kindergarten?
Now the active passive voices are taught in the very first.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
The grammar, the English grammar is this very first, right? You were talking of the noun and the verbs and all that today.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I was saying. Don't use so many adjectives. Keep it simple. Asha's trying to impress you. It's thoughtful. It's this. It's that.
But it's true.
Yeah.
I don't say just sake of saying. I mean, really.
In the Gurdwara lecture, Paisa was saying that in Sukhmani it's saying, Akal ko chhod do and just do things, The Bani is saying, so we get stuck in our akal, intellect.
it's in the belief
Is the
system.
right word.
What is called this statement, so called.
It cannot be described in English.
Yeah. Oh, this is true. What is true? There is nothing absolute truth on this earth. What is the truth to you could be a complete lie to me. These are all relative terms. There's nothing to take to life and say, the truth has been spoken.
Depends on our understanding too.
It's all your own belief system. It's all your own belief system. And for a spiritualist, the only belief allowed is there is no belief.
Environment. It combines down to environment.
That's it.
Which
If you cannot accept that hypothesis, you will never change anything.
वही कर लेना है किसी ने एक बार क्या सी कहता है कि सरदार मुंडा गया अपना फॉरेस्ट ऑफिसर दी इंटरव्यू ਲਈ मैंने कहा साहब जी ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਉੱਥੇ 10-20 ਮੀਲ ਤੱਕ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ एक दिन शामी ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖਾਣਾ ਖਾ ਕੇ ਕੁੜਤਾ ਪਜਾਮਾ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਨਿਕਲੇ ਤੇ ਕੋਨੇ ਸ਼ੇਰ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਕੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਸਰ ਜੀ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਜੋ ਕਰੇਗਾ ਉਹ ਹੀ ਕਰੇਗਾ
No.
I'm sure she has heard it from him a number of times.
Oh, बहुत बारी पंजाबी सीख गई ये दिन आ गई उन्हें
And she probably understands more than half of it already.
yeah
so
yeah
She just pretends.
No, the lion saw him, and he said that instead of going to the forest in the uniform, you are going in your night suit. And if the lion comes and sees you, what are you gonna do? He said, at that time, it's up to the lion. He will do something. I won't do anything. Because he's gonna eat him up because he has no pistol or anything to defend him. So he said, then in Punjabi it kind of sounds different. That's cute. I like it. It's funny, knowing the language and when it is delivered in the same language, it has a different way. If you translate it and you lose that.
Same thing in English.
Lose the punchline.
Yeah.
Punchline gets lost.
No, I mean, every language has that.
The spiritual, like if we are without any weapons and he is God, so whatever he'll do, he'll do.
Just
Do
happen.
it up
Let it
there.
happen.
But it
Yeah.
sounds different. Nice.
Let it happen. That's
Yeah, yeah.
Let it go. And I'm gobbling me up.
Shall we call it a night now?
No, it's been too much fun.
how एक आध भजन तो सुना नहीं
But I still have to. I'm going to sit down with you. And this thing, the restlessness part of life, is it a part of a nature? Is it part of your bringing up? Is it part of you that you're so restless?
that's anxiety attack
Some people have
We
that restlessness
we
in
have
them.
said a number of times, nothing is out there. If there is restlessness, it is you. It is in you, outside you, it is you. And unless you see it that way, there is no solution to it. So long as you see it, well, maybe my parents raised me that way. Maybe my children had the influence, as Bill Cosby will say.
Maybe I had too much sugar.
Maybe I,
Something.
maybe my husband is making me do this. Maybe my children are doing it. My grandchildren are doing it. Maybe his son comes every Friday and does this, and I am now restless for the next 2 weeks. And so long as there is that urge inside to look for a reason out there, it will remain there. No solution to it. The first step toward recognizing it is,
Go with it.
it is me.
okay then what
Then
what
It's
Oh,
you.
Then
Okay.
sit down and meditate and look at it. Become the observer of that restlessness without reacting to it. When the urge comes to shift, to give you an example, a meditator is sitting. Forget about the restlessness. A meditator is sitting, and the honey bee comes around, flies and bites. That sting is much stronger than any other bee bite. And now, what is the first urge? To rub it. Isn't it? So the master is sitting and he sees it. And he yells right from there, "Don't move!" And so what's happening? He says, "Just observe. Don't move." So he's now sitting like this, and the tears are coming down, and the pain and the hurting. But something else is happening. Because the master said, "Observe." So the concentrated poison is slowly beginning to scatter as the blood streams comes. Every time the heart pumps, a little bit is scattered in each direction. And while the blood, that poison is swelling, so there is a swelling taking place. And so he's watching that spot swelling, and the blood spreading the poison, and slowly, the poison spreads to whatever distances need to be, depending upon the quantity, and the sting goes away. Hurt goes away. Only swelling remains. Now, had he rubbed it, would have been able to observe the actual phenomena, how the poison actually affects the body when it gets in? No way. So he tolerated that pain because the master said, observe, become an observer. And when you are in pain, don't react to the pain, just observe your pain. So, I am restless. So I sit down. And the restlessness happens. Where is that restlessness first taking place? Is it in the body? Is it in the mind? Okay, so you first will observe that distinction. Then you, wherever it is, then you will take to the next layer and say, what caused that? And when you know that, you will go behind it and what caused that? By the time you get to the third stage, it will disappear. That's it. You won't need to look at it more because the mind will move on to something else. That's what the meditation is all about.
Good question.
Or you get busy in something.
Mahatma Buddha is speaking and right in front somebody is sitting like this. Okay, he's sitting like this. And he's not, he closes his mind completely. And he tells somebody, go pick him up and tell him to go out. He said, why? So he's completely asleep. He's not asleep, he's listening to you. No, he's not. He's not even conscious of his body. How can he be conscious of what I'm saying? Look at his knee. How many times we sit and do this? Right?
Is it because he's into different thought process, not being
No, not at all. Consciousness has disappeared from that moment and gone somewhere else. A meditator will never do that. If he's doing, he'll be completely aware. And he will be able to tell you why. I have this syndrome, and whatever they are calling restless leg syndrome nowadays. My leg jerks.
ADHD.
Isn't that wonderful? A woman can hit the man in the butt and say, I'm sorry, honey, I have restless.
Remember that, Asha.
And there is no solution to this. I have taken all the drugs I can.
I have tried, yeah. It didn't work.
So, anything that you want to work on, put it in your conscious mind and take the ownership. That's the first thing. Well, why I'm in love with this child? He is so adorable. He automatically takes this away from me. No, he doesn't. He has no capacity to do that. You're giving him too much power and too much credit. It's all yours. You're hiding behind the child. You are doing all of this to him, not he. If you don't want to be attacked, watch that attachment inside and see where it's coming from and become alert and start watching. More attention to pay to that, more focus you become on that, faster it will run. But don't be judgmental about it. Just be an observer. Don't put a label of a good or a bad, right or a wrong. Just be an observer. These are all thieves. When you look at the thief, while he is in the act, he cannot act. He immediately stops being a thief.
Now why nobody is saying that a thief could be she too?
No, it is he.
I didn't.
Yeah, no, thief is he. Absolutely.
Vaisab, explain that.
The rapist is he.
Yeah.
Vaisab, explain that. Just the last thing you said. Expand on
All of the Maya is like a thief. And a thief only acts when nobody is looking. Including the perpetrator. The one who's actually stealing is completely unconscious of the act of stealing at the moment. He's completely asleep. He doesn't see it as a thievery. He sees it as a work that I am doing to feed my family. He doesn't see it as that I am stealing anything. From that side, he is completely asleep. If he wakes up from that, then no, wait a minute. It is somebody else. I'm taking it away. This is stealing. He will have a very difficult time in carrying it out. Or if somebody else sees it. Because a thief needs complete privacy. So all these things, whether it's a restless syndrome or whatever it is sleeping, mind is sleeping. If the mind wakes up, it won't act. It will immediately stop.
So you become attached.
As soon as you are alert, whatever you are alert about, it will actually have its own reaction.
Being observer, that's a very difficult thing to do, really, without reacting. Being
Everything in spirituality is difficult because it is going upward. The flow of the energy is upward. Wherever there's a flow of energy downward, it's very easy, it's very attractive. That's why sexual energy normally flows downward. If you turn its direction and starts moving upward, that's where the Kundalini yoga is all about. So anything to do with spirituality would not be easier because we are used to running downhill. And this is rising up. So you're going to feel the difficulty no matter what. There is no promise for it to be easy, simple. Not at all. Okay? Have a beautiful weekend. Thanks to you all for coming. Thanks for keeping him in a line.
Anytime.